Hey, we are live, and this is the Seven Cities Shoptalk Sports Show broadcasting live to you from the beautiful state of Virginia to everyone all over the world. I am your host, Big Law Lawrence Johnson. Of course, I got my host in the building today. We got Amy, our resident Hokie. How you doing, Amy?
I'm good. I'm good. Still recovering from this stupid cold.
Well, you sound better than you did last week. That's a really
Yeah.
good thing. Sound a lot
Yep.
better.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and then of course we got AB in the building. How you doing,
I'm
AB?
good. I'm getting a late dinner tonight, so anybody who sees me eating a fry, no judgments.
No judgment. Right. Tonight is last week was a heavy week. I think we can all say, based off of kind of, what our subject was and what are the, some of the things that we talked about. And one thing is for sure about when we talk about this forum that we have here, this forum is for everyone. And when we talk about, certain things, we want it to be interactive, not only with the co-host, but also with our viewers and our folks that are in the comment section as well. Keep in mind, and I'll repeat this a few times during the show for those viewers and listeners that are out there. Let us know if you want to come on. You can possibly be sent a link to log in, and you'll be on one of these squares here on the show. But before we get started, we want to thank you for joining us in another episode of our brand of dysfunctional camaraderie. And as of now, this shop is open. And as I said earlier, I am your host, Big Law, Lawrence Johnson, and this is our platform, Seven City Shop Talk Sports. So, everyone, this is going to be an open forum to where we can pretty much talk about anything that you want to talk about, in the world of sports, particularly UVA sports. And viewers and listeners, please, this is a show almost orchestrated, formulated for you to get involved. If you want the link, we can send you the link for you to join in and give your comments live on the air. And just letting you know, a disclaimer: you will be recorded live on air, and you will be part of the show for that time being. But yo, T Goody, Tom Goodhines in the building. Now, everybody, in the chat is my guy Tom Goodhines. Runs one of the best uh, recruiting and best um, uh, programs when it comes to preparing young folks, high school folks. I know he did college folks with the grid camps, but he also just does a great job of preparing and also evaluating young talent to help them get to the next level. But this is my man, Tom Goodhines. I call him T Goody. And thank you for tuning in to the show today. But he's one of the scouts that I'm in connection with. And with Tom Goodhines is actually have been in the works for a little bit here, trying to bring a combine to Virginia. Look at him. He's saying it right now. We need to come to UVA where we get potential next level athletes to come in, work out, and we'll have scouts there, professional scouts that are looking for talent. So for
To
those young men,
VA, not UVA, to VA.
yeah, to VA. No,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah,
this is
yeah, yeah.
oh yeah, this is the state of Virginia a thing here, or Mid-Atlantic area actually,
Yeah.
where we're just trying to pull in all those young athletes who may have fallen through the cracks, who still want an opportunity to play on the next level. You still have this opportunity with this program my man Tom Goodhines has. If you guys ever had any questions, please just send me your name and your information. I'll get it on, and we also can get you some information about some of the camps and some of these combines that Tom puts on. But had a lot of kids come out of there throughout the years, and get an opportunity to make some practice squads, some pro rosters, and just get out there and show that they still have the talent. Some of these young men still staying in shape and still want an opportunity. Think about Kurt Warner. He was stocking shelves, and playing for the Iowa Barn Stormers, and wound up becoming a Hall of Famer once he got his shot. Once Trent went down and for the Rams, and he wound up being like I said, Hall of Famer, one of the best quarterbacks this league, the NFL, has ever seen. So the dream is not over, and this man and this organization gives those guys that opportunity and that type of a chance to still get back into the game. But like I said, this is an open forum. See, things like that are said for a show like this, where if you're coming in and you want us to even do a little commercial for you, you want us to talk about you, you want us, you want to join in, you want to link, you want to come on in and speak a little bit, talk a little sports with us. Absolutely. And here, there he goes. Said the most famous grid alum Cardinal is Greg Dortch, wide receiver for the Cardinals. There we go. There we go. Absolutely. So yeah, so it works. It really does. Um, but as this is an open forum, we had said let's talk about some of the great moments in UVA sports, and we'll even let Amy get in there and give her her great, some of her great moments. Of course, it may be at our expense. That's what I'm worried about. So, so that's kind of my thing that I'm worried about. We also uh, we'll talk about do a little bit of a basketball update on what's happening with the team. They took a beating last night, but that was to be expected. But how about they kept the game under 20? Duke has been beating people by 20 plus points for like the past 5 games. So, but UVA played tough and just outmanned. We'll talk a little bit about that, and then also we'll talk about the baseball program. Actually took a loss first game of the year, which was very unexpected. So that was something. I mean, it seems like they're trying to get back into rhythm now. I think they're 3-1, 2-1, and pretty much showing out with their talent. And I saw also the lacrosse team took a hard loss as well from Richmond, which that was unexpected too. Let me come to you, Amy. What's on your mind? What do you want to speak about? Open forum for this show. We're talking about some sports for, I guess, recent past. Talk to me. Talk to us.
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe fact Virginia Tech scored 27 points baseball, 27 runs in baseball this past week.
Oh,
I
they
don't
did,
know.
huh?
Yeah, we won the game today against an undefeated ETSU.
You think
Won
you guys
by
are flying under the radar? You think you guys are not as respected?
we flying under the radar, and that's perfectly fine. The minute we start getting ranked is the minute we screw up. So we can just stay low, just stay right underneath the radar is good with me.
Okay, all right, all right.
We
I
got
can.
we got a couple new freshmen that are really good pitchers. Really, really good pitcher. One kid threw six pitches today, struck and got the side out.
Okay, all right, all right.
Yep.
Struck the side out, huh? Okay.
Well, got the side out.
Oh, got the side out. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, all right.
Can't
Well,
strike out in 6 pitches long. He struck out 1 and
oh,
flew out
I didn't
2.
know how many pitches it was. I thought you meant to say he
No,
struck the side out. You said got the side out.
he got the side out in 6 pitches.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Aaron, what's going on, Aaron? Thank you for tuning in. One of my other loyal listeners there. Virginia Tech hasn't played
Virginia
anybody
Tech.
yet.
Okay, whatever.
Aaron, if
And
you want to come
Moser.
on, this is the time. This is the
Don't
day.
even start today.
If there's a time you want to link, okay, this is a time where you can get a link to come on and talk on 7 City Shop Talk Sports today, because we're serving links today, and you'll be able to link in and talk with us live on the show. But I think Virginia Tech. I mean, I'm looking forward to, as always, the rivalry between Virginia and Virginia Tech. Being that obviously Virginia is one of the top 10 teams, and in some eyes, top 5 teams in the nation. So being that they'll be the favorite, and naturally, Virginia Tech, one thing they do, I will give them credit for this, they play the underdog role really well.
Yes, we
Okay,
do.
they act like somebody stole their lunch money, and they and they and they always come out and they fight so hard. I have to give their kids that much credit. They fight so hard. I'm not saying that the UVA kids don't, but I just see some certain things, with their program over the years, and it's like, what the hell are they doing? But it's something that I guess the stigma, I guess we call it, is blue collar, white collar, you know, where UVA is kind of looked at as white collar and Virginia Tech's looked at as blue collar, and they take
Yeah.
that to heart and they really try to run with it and try to make it something. But I don't know, it is what it is. But let me come to you, AB. What you got going on, man? What's on your mind? This was a one of her from her brainchild, one of her ideas for this to do this open forum for today. And what you got on your mind today?
Well, I mean, I just thought it would be great to, I mean, people sit here and talk to us, in the chat, and they sit and listen to us talk all the time. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to, let people join and talk about some of their favorite sports memories. Um, are we getting into that yet, or are we just talking about baseball right now?
We're talking about everything. Go ahead and throw down. Well, what do you have in mind? What did you wanted to speak about? I know we did say, there are some memories, football memories that still resonate with us to this day. What are some for you?
Um, So I think the biggest thing is, I don't know if a lot of people don't know the story about how I got involved with UVA athletics. And it all started when my brother was really little. My brother has cerebral palsy. And, my mom told me I had to go to this doctor's appointment with him. I didn't know why. And it was set up from Jerry Capone for Kwaku Robinson, Tony Franklin, Michael Johnson, and Wally Lundy to come see him at one of his doctor's appointments. And when you see like a child light up like that, especially at somebody that they consider a hero, I mean, my brother idolized Wally and still does to this day. And Wally has been an amazing, family friend to us as long as he's been, with UVA. So just that bond that we have created with so many people, like I wish there was just one instance that I could talk about. I mean, for me, I've always talked about that family atmosphere, and I've never really had the opportunity to kind of explain like what that's looked like. But when I tell you, like, there are people that have become like our family. Joanne Ellis, Jordan Ellis's mom, she's become a second mom to me. Absolutely adore her. I talk to her at least once a month, but I try to talk to her, more than that. But we always check in still. And Jordan's been gone for a while, and he's now involved in strength and conditioning and as a strength and conditioning coach. So I think it's not
Is that
just one memory.
Connecticut, right? Is that
Mhm.
Connecticut? You? Mm-hmm.
Yep.
UConn.
So it's not just about the one memory, but it's this whole big conglomerate of memories that has created this huge family for me and my family. And I just love it. But I think probably the most special moment that I can remember would have to go on the books as seeing Mike go back on that field. Um,
Mm.
I think that it not only stood for the character of the athletes that UVA tries to bring in, but it just speaks to who he is as a person. It spoke to his strength and his determination and just his love for, his family that he lost and being determined to do something that they couldn't do. That type of strength you can't find in someone his age. Like that took some strong courage to just dig deep and find it and go back out there and play again. So that probably will forever be one of my favorite memories, is seeing him get back out on that field.
Yeah, that was definitely with those moments were so everything was so fresh still. You know what I mean? Where everyone was still highly emotional on the grounds, and it was almost like, well, if we're you know in a mode where our senses were were still raw. Our emotions were still raw, and Mike just had a miraculous turnaround. um you know Number one, thank bless the heavens that he's here, still here with us, but also being able to come back so fast, and be at full speed. That alone was miraculous. I want to say, did he even no, he wasn't. he didn't. Did he pre-practice at the spring game too?
Yeah, he was practicing.
He scored at the spring game.
Yeah, yeah,
That time was phenomenal because talk about the tragedy happening 4 months ago, right? 4 or 5 months, not even 5 months, 4 months or so.
yeah, it was about
November.
4. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we're in March, April, and he's back on the field.
Mhm.
That was what's going on, James. If you want to come on the show, if you want to link, let me know, James. One of my loyal listeners there, my man James Watson in the building. If you want to get on, let us know, man. We love to hear you and give you an opportunity to come on to the show live with us tonight. But
I mean,
yeah.
it's not even just that he practiced, like, it's the strength that he also had, him and his mom. His mom is,
Mm-hmm.
like, the one of the most amazing women I've ever met, and she is such a godly woman, and her strength to carry Mike's, the weight of the world that was on Mike's shoulders. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't this wasn't just something that was just Mike. This took his family, his mom, his sister, you know, all of them, and the strength that they had to go on live television and be an example, and talk about that story and give so much like determination to other people and show that strength. I mean, that's a lot of people would not even be able to even speak about the event. The fact that he spoke about it on national TV for
Mm-hmm.
the whole world to see, like, that is just undescribable, like, the amount of strength that took. So I
Right.
have to give a huge shout out to him, and his mom and his family, and also the strength of the parents. And I think this is a great time for us to be talking about this because, that event happened, what, 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
Like, 2 and a
Yeah.
half, almost 2 and a half, going on
Yeah.
2 and a half. Now is the time that those families need our support now just as more as ever, because that trial continues to be pushed back. This is a constant battle for them. Like, this is not over for them. And
Sure.
so as the UVA family, I think it's important for us to continue to show love to Mike Collins and Lavelle's family and Deshaun's family and all of their family and Devin's family, all of them, because now is the worst time. Like, they're still having to replay this. Like, this healing process has been drug out so long, and that is
Right.
so unfair for them.
Well, as you said, AB, you've always been a pillar of strength for them as well. And it's awesome to see him striving. And of course, he was an assistant coach this year as well. I'm not sure. Hopefully, he is still an assistant coach for them as well coming up. And just looking forward to seeing what this team does and also what Mike does. But we do have a viewer, listener, Aaron, in the building. Let me go ahead and unmute your mic, Aaron. How you doing, Aaron? Thank you for tuning in, man. Thank you for coming on live today. What's going on?
Doing well, man. Just actually sitting over here at Roanoke College. How are y'all doing?
Pretty good. Pretty
Good,
good.
good.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, what's up? Good to see y'all.
Yeah, so what's on your mind today, man? This show's about you.
Honestly, just how tough UVA played in that, and just in a game that was just too much for them, but they just kept going. They kept going. They kept going. They showed toughness, even though they got beat, but they played a team that's more likely going to be in the Final Four and maybe win the whole daggone thing. I mean, they're that good. They got all the pieces they need. They got a 7-3 center that didn't play too much last night, but when they need them, they use them. They got the Cooper Flag kid. They got the Campanella kid that UVA went after. I mean, they're stacked. I see a lot of things online where people are just saying, we should have played better and this and that. But look, people need to realize that, we played a team that's probably going to go very, very far. And we kept it semi-reasonably for the first half. I mean, you can't take that away from them, and that's kind of a good thing to see, comparable to what we saw, a couple months ago. I just think things are starting to look up a little bit.
Well, that team has about 4 to 5 pros on it.
Oh yeah.
So for UVA to play the level that they did, they actually had a freshman come off the bench and go 5 for 6 from 3-point range.
Yep.
He was a dead-eye shooter, man. And it was interesting to see that team play against somebody with a high. I'm going to mute you because we're getting the feedback. But yeah, just getting the getting that kind of contribution from they're getting that kind of contribution from their rookies. But it was good to see some of our teams, young folks, go out there and perform as well. How about my man Aunt Rob going up with not afraid to go up with Cooper Flag and block Cooper Flag. I thought that was actually one of the top highlights from from ESPN, because Flag's been dunking on everybody all season. And I can tell you, if he comes back, Flag, that is, that's already going to be, I bet you, one of his focuses is try to get back at Aunt Rob for embarrassing him, because that was embarrassing for what happened with that game. Let me come back to you, Amy. So right off the bat, let's talk a little baseball. Have you started your league? Let's talk about that. Your little league baseball programs yet?
So registration ends the 28th. Draft
What are your
day
ages and everything? Let's go ahead and give them the whole rundown.
Cal Ripken, ages 4 through 12, and then Babe Ruth is 13 through 18. Registration ends the 28th. Draft day is the 2nd. Practices begin usually around the 15th. And we will be playing, like I said to Chad last week, we're going to be playing in District 5, which will be Charlottesville, Northside, Peachtree, Fluvanna, Waynesboro, Stewart's Draft, Kieseltown, Green, Madison. There's like 10 leagues in that district. So it'll be good. We'll see. But UVA has only played Villanova and Rice. So they're 2-1. Tech is 3-1 for baseball right now. Aaron.
Let me go ahead and unmute you, Aaron. Hold on. There you go. You're unmuted.
Well, I can look here.
UVA's only played Rice.
Well, they also played. Didn't you also say they played Villanova? I can guarantee you, Villanova is better than Bucknell. I'd give you $1,000. They're better than Bucknell.
Oh, I'm sure, but seriously, and your game tomorrow is already canceled.
Well, most of the games are. Well, most of the games around the whole state are going to be canceled because of the snow coming in. So that's going to be pretty normal.
We're not getting no snow. We're not.
Well, we are here.
Big Law's getting snow. We not getting snow this time.
So am I. I'm going to get it too. Me and him both are.
Got my man in the house here. What's going on, Ed?
We're good.
Yeah, this is open forum tonight. So we got Aaron coming on. We got some viewers and listeners popping in and out. Aaron is on here. Anything you wanted to say really quick before we bounce it back to Amy and Aaron?
No, not really. Been a long day.
Been a long day. Okay.
I lost a feeling this weekend, so it's been a long day.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hopefully that gets better for you.
I got a temporary feeling, so I'll live.
Oh, yes.
Somehow.
So, how many ACC teams do you think are going to be going to the tournament? Basketball.
3.
I mean,
you talking about me? You talking to me? Who
anybody?
Anybody. Okay.
Well,
go ahead. It's open for everybody.
I'm going to say 3 or 4, probably no more than that. The other conferences are so much better right now. I'm going to say 3 or 4. I'm going to say probably I'll give you my 4. It'll be Duke, Lordy, Duke's definitely going to get in. Clemson's probably going to get. Well, no, Clemson won't get in. It'll be the top three. It'll be the top three, top four. I don't see. I don't even think I don't even see North Carolina maybe getting in. I don't know what their overall is right now, but I just can tell that the ACC's down a little bit, and it's going to show in the teams that they pick out of the conferences. I mean, you're probably going to get 8 to 10 probably out of the SEC. I mean, you got Vanderbilt, you got I mean they're just so much better than everybody else, other than like teams like Duke and all that. But they look different. They look different. They look bigger. They look more physical. They look taller. It just looks completely different. I'm going to say 3.
Well, I can tell you, I think that the way that the ACC is right now is struggling. Not only just in basketball but in football, man. The football programs are struggling, and they're trying to keep the conference together. Now, whether or not they can or not, in the near future, it's looking grim, and the play of the teams are not haven't been competitive. I think he had like out of 8 teams that went to bowls, maybe 1 or 2 of them had victories, which that is absolutely unacceptable for this conference. So, next year is going to be a true telltale sign of what this conference is going to do. Whenever your flagship programs in football, supposedly and usually a Florida State and a Clemson kind of struggle. Clemson struggled a little bit in the beginning, but then they kind of righted the ship later on. But when you have a team like Florida State, who is really, supposed to be the one of the flagship programs, and Miami as well, flagship program for football anyway, for the ACC. Whenever those teams are struggling, and then nobody's really picking up the slack, the Dukes that come out of nowhere, the North Carolinas who recruited well but aren't winning, that puts everything in perspective. Everything's on the table as far as disbandment, and that's something that we don't want. Let me ask you, AB, when it comes to the ACC and its position right now, what do you think is going to happen moving forward within the next 2 years with the ACC? Are they still going to have the same amount of teams that they have today than they will in the next 2 years? Will they lose any teams in the next 2 years?
I don't know if we lose, we probably will gain. I think there's just going to be a lot of different shifts going on. I mean, we kind of already saw that. I mean, it's the Atlantic Coast Conference, and we have freaking Cal in it. I mean,
Stanford.
It makes 0 sense. But hey, I guess Atlantic Coast, it doesn't mean anything anymore. So I think that we'll see a lot of things just switch up in general, like because people were constantly bidding to try to get into other conferences or get into bigger conferences. So I think we'll see some switch up, but I don't know if since we just added who we did in the next 2 years, I don't know if there will be much of a change. I just think that it's also going to switch up. I mean, we talk about money and how that influences recruiting, but when you're mixing teams that are coming from different,
Coast
conferences,
right.
conferences, then it's switching up the dynamic of the type of athlete that, you're also recruiting as well. So, money and then the switching around, I think it'll be interesting to see. But I know when it comes to a lot of sports like football and basketball, we're going to have to really, I mean, we did well in the transfer portal, but we need to do better about recruiting young and getting young and keeping them young, and not losing them and developing players. So I think that that's really the focus that, we need to look at. I think Norfolk State's a great example of just how you need to structure your recruiting. You have Michael Vick, you hired Elton Brown. On top of that, you hired Tommy Riemann as your general manager. So you have another guy who is extremely talented. And I mean, he was a GA for Virginia and worked for Virginia Tech. So he's got connections all over.
You got Leroy Reynolds.
Yeah, Leroy. I forgot about
He's
Leroy.
linebackers coach from UVA as well.
But I mean, just the talent that he's brought in, he knows what he's doing. He's bringing talent in that he really honestly feels like he can recruit well, and to be able to develop these players. So I think everybody else is going to have to catch on to that. And, you know, I don't know where we lost that, because I mean, that used to be our motive when it came to recruiting.
Right.
And I mean, I know that, and, you know, being the transfer portal and stuff has changed, but we shouldn't have to attack the transfer portal as hard as we did this year. We really need to work on our recruiting in so many different areas in all sports. I mean, we saw the lack of athleticism in basketball. So something has to change in regards to recruiting across the board. And we've got to, I mean, Virginia especially needs to figure it out so that we can be competitive with everybody else. But it's going to be weird for everybody. When we're talking about 2 years, I think it's bigger than just looking at what teams are going to be in the conference. It's what we need to change and adapt to be able to mesh everything all together.
So I think we're going to be having a complete name change. I do not think it's going to be called ACC anymore, because we obviously have SMU, which is from Texas. We have Cal. We have Stanford. You know, you've got Notre Dame thrown in there, not for football, but for basketball and everything else. And that's in Indianapolis or Indiana, wherever. But
they may be like the DCC, Dual Coast Conference.
I mean, it's going to have a name change, because it makes no sense to be called the ACC and have these teams from all over the country. That's one. Two, the amount of money that is not getting to these ACC teams. I just watched Pitt beat Syracuse. Your basketball recruiting, the football recruiting. Michael Vick is going to get any kid that's from the 757. They're going to go to Norfolk State. I don't care if they don't give them any money. They're going to go to Norfolk State just because it's Michael Vick.
Oh, he'll get a few looks. Let me come to Ed. Well, now you're shaking your head, Ed. What's going on? Now, what do you disagree with?
Well, let's see. I don't think there's going to be a name change. Well, it'll still be the ACC, but I think it should be called the All Coast Conference.
That would work.
You see, you don't have to change any of the logos. You just start calling it the All Coast Conference. Problem solved. You know, I would really like to see the conference office start advocating for the conference. It seems like we're always pursuing some merger deal. So we're trying to get SMU, or we're trying to get Cal, or we're trying to get this, that, or the other. Or maybe we're entertained. Well, maybe this time Notre Dame really means it, and they'll come into the conference. They're not coming. They're not coming. They have 20 million reasons not to join the conference.
They get their own check.
Yeah. They really don't need ours.
They get checks and they don't have to share with anybody.
That's right. They get their own check, separate check.
Yeah, I don't. You know, as far as the sleeping giant at Norfolk State, I think they're going to have a couple of good years. Now we'll see if they can sustain that. And the name Michael Vick is going to have some weight to it. It has to. But you know, the test is going to be, can he win? If he can't win, he could be whoever he wants. It's not going to matter. Kids aren't going to want to go there. So we'll see how he does. To the best of my knowledge, he's never been a head coach. Has he ever been an assistant? He's never coached anywhere at any level.
He's done a lot of camps, but he's never
coached. Well,
He has coached. He has coached some high school stuff, and he has coached some little league stuff.
No, I don't think so. He may have coached Pee Wee, Little League, but I don't think he's coached on the high school level anywhere around here.
Not at this level, anyway.
Yeah,
It's
no, I don't even know if
it's
he's coached high school level, to
yeah.
be honest.
I will be curious to see how he does. Sometimes great players make great coaches, but usually they don't.
This is what I can say. This is what I can say, Ed.
Okay.
This is what I can say. I think you're still gonna get, and just let everyone know also, I'll have one of my guys down here will be covering Norfolk State as well. So we'll have somebody in the booth covering Norfolk State football. One of my guys who had done some actually one of their original guys who had kind of been with me at Seven City Shop Talks in infancy in the beginning. He said that he'd love to go and cover Norfolk State. So I'll have somebody in the press box getting some information about Norfolk State, but be covering Norfolk State football as well. But my thing on Michael Vick and what that means for number one, HBCUs in general. You got Deshaun Jackson. You had Deion Sanders. You got Michael Vick. You got a few other players with a big name going to some of these schools. And I think it's really going to help their programs, and then, i.e., helping their conferences pull in more endorsement money. Just because all those guys we just named have had huge endorsements when they were playing. So right off the bat, they're going to get money for endorsements just because of who they are. I think, and those HBCUs, they need money in a bad way. They sorely need money to just keep their programs running. And now this is going to help for sure. But they're following the Deion Sanders playbook, with this. Especially on that level. One thing about it, when you're playing other HBCUs, a lot of it is based off. It's an arms race. It's who can get the most talent. You saw when Deion was coaching, he had a roster that could rival some regular D1 programs in some Power 5 conferences. They could play with them. Based off of his talent, because he was pulling in 5 stars at Jackson State. You just don't see that, for 5-star kids to go play, at a HBCU. And I think Michael Vick will have that similar effect. So will Deshaun Jackson at Delaware State. I think you're going to have, because this, number one, this is his home, this is his area, the 757. You're going to have a lot of kids that may not get to. I mean, the Alabamas and the Ohio States and the Clemsons and all Texas, those schools that get the 5-star kids, the high-end kids from this state in this area, they're still going to get those kids. I don't think that no one's pulling a 5-star away from any of those programs. What you're going to get is a lot of those 4-star, 3.5-star kids that would never think of a Norfolk State. You know what I mean? Those kids that are your program builders, kids that will possibly not play a lot of time, but will be on your special teams their first year, or they may redshirt, but they probably be on your special teams, those 3.5 and 4-star kids, or your 2.5-star kids that wouldn't consider, they'll be on the special teams. And then they'll come in the next year and be good contributors on that level. And that's when you start to build a program that can be formidable. And being that Norfolk State hasn't had that exposure in a long time. I mean, they had exposure back in the day. And then of course being in just in Hampton Roads in general, Norfolk State, has a history and a lineage of having good football programs. And for that fact, I know a lot of my Norfolk State alumni, friends, and family won't like this, but Hampton as well. Hampton had been the king of Hampton Roads for a long time before Norfolk State, before Hampton started losing some talent, and things started to break apart some. But those schools are definitely going to benefit from him, and Norfolk State will start to get some of these kids that are slipping through the cracks at a full-blown Power 4, they'll be considering staying at home and playing in the 757. And if anyone was counting, we had 4 teams that went to the state championship in our little area of 757, and 3 of them won the state, which is frightening for our area to have so many championship level programs. And I want to say we had 5 teams get to 5 or 6 teams get to the regional championship. 4 of them get to the state championship game, and 3 of them wound up being state champions. So
Wasn't one of the local teams the one that went on like the last play of the game or something?
Right? Yeah. I'm sending you a link, James. We got James Watson coming in. Hey, Aaron, I'm gonna let somebody else get in here, okay, buddy? Appreciate you coming on, brother. And we'll do this again. Anything you want to say in closing?
Just go UVA. That's about it, man. So, we keep playing the way we're playing and hope things start going our way a little bit.
You a UVA baseball guy?
I'm everything UVA.
Okay, give me a prediction for their record.
Oh, Lord. I'm not really sure on that yet. After watching the first game and then getting beat, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it yet. I don't know what to think.
Okay. Well, we'll stay tuned. We may do it for another couple weeks as
sounds good.
A little bit of the news waiver or the news wire before March Madness. We'll do this again because once March Madness comes on, it'll be it'll the business will come back up. We'll jump back up. So, but we'll do this again. But I appreciate it, Aaron. Thank you for tuning in, man. Thank you for jumping on.
Hey,
all right,
buddy. Michael Vick coached for the American Football League as for the Atlanta Legends as offensive coordinator. Just FYI.
Was that a year? What year was that?
In 2019, he did it.
Okay. All right. Didn't know that. Did not know that. Okay. Well, that was that's news because the news has been going around as he hasn't coached for
What was the name of the team?
Hold on, I'll go back and look at it. Hold on. The Atlanta Legends of Alliance of the American Football in 2019. He was the offensive coordinator.
Okay. All right.
How'd they do?
Oh, I don't know. It doesn't say that.
Well, if you went to the trouble to look it up, I thought maybe you at least glance at the record. Come on, Amy.
Well, hold on.
You're trying to get sponsors and you're doing things half-assed.
It's on Wikipedia for Pete's sakes.
We'll scroll down.
I'm trying to scroll down.
Scroll up and scroll down, Amy. It's probably on there somewhere.
It doesn't say.
Doesn't say?
It does not say. I'm not saying.
Okay.
Now I have to go look it up. I hope you're bad. Hope you're happy. Drag my sore tooth all over the internet.
yeah, but we'll see. But that's good though. I think it's great for Mike to get the job. And I think it's gonna be great for 757. It's gonna be great for the whole area.
All right. So in 2017, he was an intern with the Chiefs with Andy Reid in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
In 18, he became the offensive coordinator for the Atlantic Legends. And then it's
I know he was on Fox for a while,
Yeah, he's been on Fox since 2018.
Didn't the Chiefs get better after Mike left?
Huh?
Didn't the Chiefs get better after Mike left?
I don't know. I'm just saying he was an intern for the Chiefs.
Well, that's Andy Reid helping.
Well, we got to do something about these research assistants. They're just phoning it in, man.
Hey, my research assistant Dylan is in Richmond. He ain't here no more.
Don't blame the kids. Don't blame the kids.
Look, Dylan's gonna have to get back.
You raised him.
You are because it's about to come down.
Yeah, snowpocalypse is coming, y'all.
He'll be going to London soon.
Oh, is he flying out now?
No. They're moving to London in September.
Why London?
You drove your own kid off? Wow.
No, his fiance, probably will be his wife by then, is going to go to art school in London, and
Oh, excuse
Dylan
me.
will have a visa, and he will be working remotely from London.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be taking a trip across the pond.
Oh wow. That just
Boy,
can't wait till they get a kick of your accent on that side
yeah,
of the water.
I don't know, Amy. It might not be the best time to go over there. I'm just saying.
That's gonna be fun. But yeah. Let me see. James, if you're still there, I sent James Watson a link. He should pop on here as well. But how about the the baseball program? Took a hard loss, Ed. Let me. Amy had touched on it, and Aaron had touched on it a little bit. What do you what did you suspect for that first loss? I know you watched that, or you kept up with it and wondered what happened. What did you see, Ed?
Baseball's just
Like hockey,
baseball will
man. You
drive
just
you
don't know.
crazy and break your heart all at the same time. It's the one game I think where talent always makes a difference, but I think given the randomness of baseball, it just sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce your way. We lost a game. I'm not gonna panic. I'm check and scream fire Oak if he wants, but I don't think that's in the offense. They just had a bad game. It's that simple. It's just baseball's like I said, baseball's a funny game. Sometimes it's funny in an ironic sense, not in a ha-ha sense. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. I'm not the least bit worried.
It's so early in the season. These guys are just getting their legs. They're just getting into swings. They've been practicing all winter in indoors.
Practice.
Baseball is a long haul game.
Yep.
It's not a quick hit and run.
Yeah, it's a marathon.
I think both teams will be fine. I'm just glad to be way under the radar and don't have to live up to the number 2 position UVA has right now.
There is some truth to that in trying to keep your team playing at that level. What do they say? The target's on your back.
Yeah.
Finally caught up with the Chiefs. Target was on their back, and this season, they were barely winning. They had like the least amount of margin of point margin based off of how many games they won ever. So
don't get me started.
But it's just like anything else, they're always going to get a team's A game.
Exactly. You're going to get their best effort.
You're always that's hard to live up to game in and game out. Well, doesn't matter if you're sick, doesn't matter if you're injured, doesn't matter, you got to come with 1,000% because this person's coming to knock your head off and not just play the game. They're coming to embarrass you, to take something away from you that you've had, Yeah.
A lot of the time with baseball, when you start to press, it just gets worse.
Oh yeah.
That silly little ball has a mind of its own sometimes, and you try to force it, and it's like, no, I don't think so.
Yep.
Gonna go do something else.
Back to my question about basketball. I think we're going to get 3 teams in. I think it's going to be Duke. I think it's going to be Clemson, and I think it's going to be Louisville.
Louisville. Yep. Louisville.
That's it. I think that's all that's getting in.
I think you are on point with that, Amy. I think you're definitely right on point with that. There should be a lot of NIT, CBI tournaments full of ACC teams. I'm thinking UVA is probably fighting for an NIT or CBI tournament bid right now. If they, right now they're 500 team. If they go and they finish, you know, 17 and 15 or something like that, I think they have an opportunity to get to one of those smaller postseason tournaments, and then we'll really see, the see more of the improvements of the team, because there has been there's leaps and bounds and a lot of strides they've taken to get where they are right now. So I'm proud of where they are, and believe it or not, I think they played Duke about as well as that they could play that squad. That squad was monsters. If you watch them play against Duke, Duke is just that good, that talented, and scary part is Cooper Flagg says that he may not even want to go pro yet. He could come back next year. You guys hear about that?
Lord help us.
Yeah. He said that
Hate him already.
He said I just got here. I think were his words, kind of just starting to get the college experience. Why leave? And I think his endorsements are like his NIL deals all together. His accumulation is $4 million. $4.5+ million. Why leave? I mean, it'd be 10 million, I believe. I think it'd be 10 million or 12 million for his. I gotta look at what Wemby made his rookie year. But go ahead, Amy. I'll go ahead and let you while I look up Wemby's contract.
I watched an interview. I went back and watched with Oprah, Charles Barkley, and Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan's comments about the fact that these kids are getting paid and have yet to prove themselves is a travesty.
Yeah.
But if it keeps them in college to finish,
see, that's the reverse that's happening. That's actually good.
Right. It's a travesty that they're getting paid because they haven't proved their ability, right? When Jordan and them started getting all their money, they had already proved themselves. But if it keeps them in school longer, has them finish their degrees, and they walk out with a degree, and a little bit better concept of that kind of money and what to do with that kind of money, maybe it is a good thing. And I'm hoping that, the loyalty to the school that you're playing at stays. That's my only thing. All these kids that, like, we had Padula for 2 years, and now his little sorry butt is in SEC. If they would stay loyal to their school, that's still my thing. Loyalty to school is still my thing.
Wemby makes 12 million. He made 12 million last year. So Cooper is at maybe 4 to 5 million. But if you're a college player and you're at that level, I mean, if you really want the money, I guess, sure, you can go make it. But he may be in a situation where he's okay making that kind of money and still being a college student athlete. Which like you said, Amy, it could work in reverse, where kids are like, you know what, that money's going to be there, but I'm getting a huge amount of money right now, and I don't have a problem with taking millions of dollars
and getting my education.
So that, I think that definitely has some weight. I know, AB, you got some, you have an opinion about a lot of this. How do you feel about the players getting their NIL and staying in school, as opposed to just go ahead and take the big check and go back or go to the pros?
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing is the point of giving them money is to be at the school and play for the school. So, I mean, it would be great for them to get a degree, from the university that they're at. But, I don't like this NIL, and I think that it's just too much. I think that there needs to be some type of structure and cap, because the amounts that are given are insane. And for example, y'all know I went to JMU. The fact that We took that quarterback who gave up on his team because he wasn't getting the NIL he was promised, and then we're bringing him onto our squad at JMU.
You're bringing the kid from Nevada?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who are we talking about?
The UNLV guy that quit on his team before the season.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, the
For the
quarterback.
season,
Yeah,
like game 4,
JMU
game
got him
5,
out of
something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, JMU got him in the transfer portal, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like the kid quit on his team. That should be right there. You're done.
Super talented.
Yeah, that tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, like whether or not you were not getting what you're promised or whatever the case may be, bro, you quit on your team.
Yeah,
you should lose your eligibility. Period.
Hey, we got another viewer, listener, fan in the building. My man, I'm gonna go ahead and unmute you now. I got my man James Watson in the building. How you doing, James?
Hey, I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Good, man. Thank you for tuning in. This show is about you. So let's kind of hear what you got to say. What's on your mind? We're just chopping it up about the NIL, good, bad, or indifferent, and what it means for a young man or a young lady to stay in school, get the education, or go for it all. Go for the big bucks when you get to the pro level. But we want to hear what you got to say about anything. So what's on your mind, James?
I appreciate you guys. I've been enjoying you all for probably about a year. I look forward to it. You guys have a great camaraderie, great show, a lot of real funny as well.
Appreciate that.
And I love you all's just desire to support the Who's and stay behind them. And as you talked about Mike Collins earlier, I love all of that.
Give us an idea. Give us an idea who you, first of all, who you are and what you do with the school, because you work a little bit in conjunction with the university, right? Or you have some ties.
A little bit.
Well, so kind of give us an idea exactly who you are and give us a proper introduction.
Okay, great. Well, again, thanks for having me. My name is James Watson. I'm a big time UVA fan. I was at the coaches basketball show about 2 hours ago. I went to UVA in the mid '90s. So when I was there during the time where we had Poindexter, Rondé Tiki. I cannot claim to be a former player, although a lot of people may mix me up in the whole group of people from that time window. But definitely have a lot of friends from that window. Charlottesville's been my home a long time. I do defense contract work, so I've spent a lot of time down there where you guys are in the 757. Working with Navy clients over the years, Marine clients, and a bunch of other clients. But yeah, I love it. Been, like I say, a long time Charlottesville resident. I've got 3 kids. One's at VCU, my daughter, and then my 2 sons, who are significantly younger than my daughter. We go to just about everything, all the sports. Even this year, we went to a couple of the swim meets because they've got like 6 or 7 Olympians on that team.
Mm-hmm.
So you were asking about NIL. I do think players getting paid is long overdue, but I do believe there needs to be something done with the ability to just transfer. I do think in life we do have opportunities to change jobs frequently, but when you start seeing people transferring 3 and 4 times, 18, 19, 20 years old, it's a little bit much. And I wonder about their parents even, when they're jumping around that often. Is anybody really providing any guidance, right?
Or maybe they're pushing them. Maybe they're pushing
and
them.
they could be pushing them too.
That's the bad part.
That's true. I even saw, like with Calandria, right? When he left, and again, as a young man, I have respect for all these young people. But I think the UNLV picked up another quarterback, right? Like within days of him
kid
going
from
over
Michigan.
There.
The kid in Michigan who's like a 5-star.
Exactly. So, you just say, well, you would have had an opportunity here to continue to start. They probably would have, given them more money. But, to each his own. I think it's going to take a little bit of time to get some of the, the rough spots ironed out. But I do have friends that played, right at UVA that look at their numbers in the rafters today and say, man, I didn't make a nickel. Never made a nickel and brought in so much money. So I'm not opposed to the money. I'm not opposed to transferring, but I do think there needs to be some level of restrictions and maybe even some of the money needs to be put into a trust or a fund. They always talk about Iverson having that money that Reebok awarded him that he can get when he's 55. because I know I was a knucklehead when I was 18, 19, 20, whatever. I didn't have $1 million.
Sure. Yeah, you
So,
put that
you
money in
know,
my pocket, man. I don't know why. I mean, I
yeah,
would be doing
man.
something crazy at 18, 19 years old.
Exactly. I
Well,
mean,
and
you got.
Sure.
it's not only the player or
Hmm.
the person that's getting the money that's probably spending it. It's probably the parents too. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
mean, I don't know that UVA has that level of
Hmm.
ignorant parent, and I'm
Oh, they
just saying
do.
this. I'm
I
just
think
saying
I
that.
think all schools do.
Yep. Yep. Maybe a
Honestly, I
Well,
think
little
all
less at
schools do.
UVA, but it's probably there. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you've
Yeah.
got parents that their main thing was, I'm pushing my kid. They're going to be a football player. They're going to go to college. They are going to be my meal ticket.
Yeah.
And I agree that money needs to be put up somewhere, put away, put aside, something somehow out of these kids' reach so that they have that money for later in life.
Yes.
What I heard was next year there's a salary cap coming.
Okay.
For
I've been wondering about that.
I want to say it was it $22 million
Hmm.
Holy moly.
for the entire sports program. So they got to cut $22 million between football, basketball, girls and boys, all sports.
Kids on the
So
rowing team just sat up and took notice.
But I think that don't
right,
make it fair for all schools though, because
Yeah.
in regards to some schools, they have a lot more alum that, I mean, let's just use it for example. You got, what is it, Texas, that has Matthew McConaughey, that's a
Right.
huge supporter.
oh,
I mean, come
They have
on.
oil
their own
money.
network.
It's oil money. Them Texas A&M.
I'm just using like
Uh,
somebody like that.
yeah,
Like you have somebody like Matthew McConaughey who probably gives a ton of money to the football program for it to be successful, to be able to get the athletes that they need. So I
Right.
think if all the schools are put on the same type of level, it's going
Mhm.
to I think it's going to help the transferring, number one. And I think it's going to help everybody be able to be competitive, because the money is not allowing everybody to be competitive.
Right.
I also was thinking about it too. What if they did something? I mean, you got to think about how they do pro athletes contracts. What if they did the NIL money like a contract, just like they do the pros? Like, okay, well, your potential is going to be this amount of money, but you have to reach these tiers to get that full amount, right? Like,
sure.
instead
Interesting.
of just, we're talking about earning money here, like,
Hmm.
okay, you didn't do anything to earn it. Well, let's give them a reason to earn it.
Right.
Break it into some tiers, do something that it's not just money in their pockets, because like Amy was saying, some parents spend their life just making sure that their kids have the opportunity. The
Hmm.
amount of money that these kids are getting from NIL is money that the kids have never seen in their lifetime, and sometimes not even the parents.
Right.
Yeah, it's
So
life-changing money.
yeah, I mean,
Yep.
life-changing money here. And if you have a valid reason, like say you don't have a car, like, okay, well, have a valid reason to buy it and you can withdraw that money for that. But we're not talking about a Lamborghini here. We're talking about
Right.
something practical, like there needs to be some type of structuring on what
Yeah.
these kids can do with this money, because if anything, if it's just going to be money wasted. I mean, the
Pretty
stuff
much.
these kids are buying, I'm like, what the heck? This
Well,
is
not only
Yeah.
wasted, it could destroy their lives. There's
But yeah, they're
something
gonna.
to be said that, if you make, the certain, a certain amount of money, especially on the, high end, and, you get used to living that type of a lifestyle, but then the crash on the back end when you don't, you talk about destroying your life. I mean, you could be living up and live high for a
Right.
very short period of time, and you could burn through that money. Think about a guy like Antonio, Knucklehead, wide receiver he used to play for the Steelers and the Buccaneers.
Mhm.
Antonio
Oh, Brown.
Antonio Brown.
Antonio
He's
Brown.
he's burned through all of his money. He said he has zero money right now, man. And
He's had to file bankruptcy.
right, and
And I
he
know
can't
that
pay
because I'm a
it,
bankruptcy lawyer's office.
right, and he cannot pay any of his bills. So
Nope.
but that is life ruining. No, even
Yeah.
though you're ignorant enough to not put money away, and then you're stuck with, wow, look at all this debt that I've accumulated that I cannot that I can't pay my debt, my debtors back.
Right.
My man James, go ahead, James. I know you want to add a little bit more to this.
No, that's it, man. They should probably the NCAA, if the NCAA continues to stick around, because that may fade out in due time. But if it does, they should require the students and the family, or whoever is considered the guardian, right? Because not everybody has a traditional family, but make them take a class, right, in financial management, financial literacy.
Mm-hmm.
It's called a credit counseling class, and you have to take it, and it's a 2-hour class prior to filing bankruptcy, and there is a test.
Right. Well, I was thinking more when you start college, right? You get that NIL, because just like when you sign a student loan, right? When you're just a regular student, they make you take a little training on how you have to deal with paying it back later on before you sign the promissory note. So for the athletes, same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's take a training, do a training. But
I think it should be
it'll
an
be
ongoing
interesting.
thing. I think it should be an
Yeah,
ongoing
right. It's
thing,
not just
James.
a one time,
I think
right?
it could be like a class. Like
every year.
if you're going to partake in taking NIL money, a part of your curriculum is you got to give so many hours. As long as you're getting that check, you got to go to class for it.
Right.
And it's just literacy. It's not.
But be honest.
Yeah.
Be honest, okay?
Mm-hmm.
How many parents did the students stuff for college?
Say what?
Okay.
What do you mean?
So
are we talking about filling out forms, or are we talking about the actual work itself?
When you're filling out these FAFSA forms and all this
Oh,
stuff,
that's
my children never did it. I have 3 children that went to college at Liberty, Tech, VMI. When we did all the forms, I did them all 4 years.
Sure.
They didn't have student loans because they all got all 3. Well, I take that back. Amber did for the year 5 through 8, but Dylan and Evan did not because they got free rides, academic scholarships. So, but I filled out those forms. They did not. So these kids that are these little promissory things that they're signing, they're not signing that stuff. Their parents are signing that stuff.
Sure, but this is more NIL stuff. This is generational
exactly. No,
wealth.
I think
generational wealth. This is
God help me. I think Amy has a point.
Right. Well, that's
the point.
Regular
is
college business. Parents have always done that from day one.
Right, but what I'm saying is, you can't expect them to do it with the NIL money when they haven't even done it for their student loan money.
But what I'm saying, Amy, is if you expect to get that NIL
you're not getting a check.
You're not getting your check.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. You're not getting your check unless you make it a rule to say, hey, you got to take 30 so many hours, and it's it's financial literacy.
Right.
As long as you come to class and they check you and you're in class, all right, you get your check this week for your NIL funds. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, I agree with you. I agree.
Yeah.
But there's also a huge difference in borrowing money. Oh, I'll just pay it later. Than just receiving a lump sum. Yeah, like actually getting paid. Like, oh yeah, I'll pay the loans off later. No, I'm getting cash now.
That's right. You got to go to class for that.
I'm not gonna have student loans, and I'm getting a crap ton of cash. What?
Go to class.
I think the other thing too we don't stress enough to these athletes is because everybody has that it won't happen to me mindset. But
very true.
I mean, you think about it. Somebody could go out here on a Saturday and play football and have a career-ending injury. Well, what then?
That's it.
Where did that money go? And what are you going to do now? Your football career is over. So there's no more NIL money. And now what? So what are you going to do? You spent your NIL money and you can't get any more. So you could have saved that money. And so I think we need student athletes to get out of this mentality of it won't happen to me. And the reason I thought about all this is because Judy that was up for the Heisman, he put up his girlfriend put up a big TikTok, or it might have been him or his girlfriend, about what he did for Valentine's Day. And it's like, dude, you spent that much money on freaking Valentine's Day.
Who was it?
Judy, Ashton Judy.
Oh, Jenny. Okay, yeah.
The kid from Boise State.
I said, what? Like, mind blowing about the amount of money that he probably spent just on Valentine's Day, just because you have it. Like, he has money. He was up for the Heisman, so he got a crap ton. But I mean, anything can happen to any of these kids, and they don't think about that. They have this mindset of, I'm the shit, I'm getting all this money, but that could end tomorrow. And it doesn't even have to be a football injury. I mean, you could go out here and get a car accident and never play another game.
Right.
I mean, we don't teach the kids that either. We just, here's a bunch of money we're throwing at you. That's all they're worried about, and that's like all they see.
Yeah. What do you think about that, James? What do you want to add to that?
No, I think you're right. And the only thing you can really do is come up with, like I was saying before, a rule that says, okay, 10% of the money or 5% goes into a fund that can't be touched until you are out of school completely for 6 months. There's a way you can do something, as I mentioned with Iverson, where you can put some money away, or there's some kind of requirement that a percentage has to be, saved away, and it's very difficult to access it, right?
Yeah.
Just like your IRA at work or your 401k, where
you got to finish. You got to hit the age.
or you got to hit the age, or you got to show some type of financial
hardship.
calamity or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Life-changing event.
Yep.
There's never going to be a perfect situation, right? Where you're just giving young people lots of money, but there's going to have to be some, parachutes that are put into this to keep them from falling.
Some sort of a safeguard, like you're saying. It could end tomorrow, and I would say, rather than 5 or 10%, I'd say let's start with half. They're college kids. I don't want to say you can't have but just so much money. But what I'm saying is they need to learn to that money is a tool, and if you use up your tools today, you don't have anything to generate more money with tomorrow. You walk out in front of a bus. It could happen.
Yeah.
Hopefully it won't happen, but it could. And then what? You've spent all your money. You have to wait to earn more money. And if you think the college or the university is going to feel sorry for you, probably not.
That's right.
Oh no,
your SOL kid, have a good life.
Right.
Yeah. Or make it like you said, James. You got to hit the magic number from an age standpoint.
Right.
Maybe you got to hit the degree. You got to get your degree. You have to get your.
That would be nice.
Like we're saying with the 401k, link it to life-changing events. Let's say you get married, you have a child, death in the family, something like that.
Yeah.
You can tap into that money. Otherwise, the money sits until you're 35, whatever number you want to pick out of the cloud.
Till you get your degree, or you're like age 35, something crazy.
Right.
I mean, they hate that, but that would really help them.
Yeah.
Down the line.
And I'd like to make it, if we're going to pay these kids like it's a job. Okay, fine, it's a job. If I'll spot you the first transfer. Maybe the new coach is a complete asshole, and you can't stand to be around him. Okay, it happens.
Yeah,
but if the next coach is an asshole too, maybe it's not them. You should have to sit out a year for the second transfer, or commit 2 years when you do transfer.
What is it? You get, I think they're trying to crack down on that, because you can transfer every year if you want. Now the difference is, the window opens up again for you if your coach gets another job and leaves his post. You have a special window that opens up that allows you to leave as well. But there needs to be, you're right, a one in, there's one time, like transfer one time in 2 years, that kind of a thing. You can transfer one time within every 2 years, you can transfer once and play immediately. But if you're if you're changing first year, second year, third year, you've already had 3 transfers.
Yeah.
You're
going to have to sit in 5 years.
Right. You've got to sit out on that third transfer you want to make. You know what I mean? That it needs to be something like that. Because in addition, they actually are getting paid for what they do. Because with the new rules now, where they're giving players back pay, what is it, 2019, 18, something like that. They're paying kids from back then, not hazard pay, but back pay for playing for all those years and moving forward. So there's NIL, which is, kind of like the big cream on top, but then there's
Right.
like pay for play, just pulling hours. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
kids are just gonna pull hours and make money.
Right.
Working out and going and just being on the team. You're gonna make regular pay. So it's about it could get real lucrative in addition to what's already going on. So, if you don't, maybe you're not talented enough to garner an NIL from a car dealership or a shoe company. But
James, I got your message. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks guys for having me. I'm gonna drop out because one of my sons is acting a little crazy in the background, so I'm gonna have to go deal with him.
Darn kid.
You guys got a great chemistry, great show. I appreciate you all bringing me in, and keep it up. Keep it up. You got a great fan right here.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, brother. And
Thank
we'll
you.
get you back on.
Yep.
We'll get you back
you guys.
Go Hokies.
Oh, stop. Amy, listen to you.
I could have sworn we had her microphone muted. Is that possible?
Hey, I think the NCAA needs me and AB on their committee to fix this NIL crap.
Sure.
They could use a couple of moms. You're right.
They could use a couple of common sense women.
You know who would be good on that? Oh shit! The kid's name went Mike.
What is he? A commentator? What is he?
No. The just played for us a couple years. It was in Mike. Was it Hollins?
Yeah, Mike Hollins.
Yeah.
His mom would be good for that. Something like that. A parents advisory board.
Sure. Yeah, you want to know who else would? Jaden Daniels' mom. Jaden Daniels' mom. You seen her?
Yeah. You know who else? Well, she's on a different level. But DeAndre Hopkins' mom, like, she is crazy involved. She's an amazing. She has such a story. But I mean, she'd be great for it too. But
Isn't she his agent?
I think that what'd you say?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't she his agent or something?
Mm-hmm.
Momager, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, her story is crazy, but I mean, in general, I just think that this NIL, like Amy was saying, they need some more people that don't make a ton of money that know what it's like. We're the regular schmegular people out here that are working daily jobs and are not just, I mean, we have to look at our bank account and look at what we spend and what we do, and we understand how certain things impact our finances. I think that that's what the NCAA needs, instead of a bunch of people who make money all the time. I mean, it's great when you make that much money.
You went to college and you're still paying on your student loan.
Yeah, because honest to God, I made some terrible decisions. If I could go back and change what I did, I mean, be completely honest, going to Liberty and doing my master's was the worst decision and I didn't even finish. And it was the worst decision I've ever made. And I would tell people today, I mean, the job I have now, I don't need my degree for that. It helped, but I didn't need my degree to be where I'm at.
Right. And I put 3 kids through college. One walked out $100,000 in debt that has just now gotten her $100,000 debt forgiven because she did 10 years of service as a school teacher, as a public servant. So, you have to have people that know and that have been through it in order to help these kids that are getting this shit ton of money.
Amy said that like it was a sentence.
Blown away.
You know what I mean? She put her debt to society like it was a sentence.
It was. I mean, you put 10 years in with them damn little heathen children.
Well, I mean, but that's the crappy part about it, though. Like, great for her, but like everybody else that's out here too, like, I may not be a teacher, but what I do for work, like, it's so impactful to our community. Like, I'm helping give people a second chance to be able to get back on their feet. I'm serving the community just like a teacher is. I mean, but I'm working. I'm not working with kids. I'm dealing with grown ass adult children. That's what I'm dealing with now. Like,
Right. Worse than
and most of the time, I love my employees most of the time. But there are some ones. I mean, you have to literally beg them to go to work, and it's
Yeah.
real. It's like I sit at work sometimes, and I'm like, y'all need a job so bad, but
Right.
y'all call out every week. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
that
get
ain't
it.
gonna work. Yeah, that
Yep.
ain't gonna work.
You
And
know,
people don't want to work.
No,
That's
they
the
don't.
difference. And
nope.
Well,
again, back to watching that interview with Oprah with Charles Barkley was like, yeah, I was handing $5 to this poor man on the side of the road, asked me if I had $5. I was going to hand it to him. And Mike smacked my hand and said, don't you give him that money. If he can say, do you have $5? He can say, welcome to McDonald's. How may I help you? I mean, that's the kind of mentality that hardworking people have. Michael Jordan did not come from money. He got money now, but he did not come from money.
Well, I think too, it COVID changed a lot when it comes to work. Like people really, for a long time, for a couple years, had the opportunity to find a job that they actually wanted to do instead of doing a job that they had to do. And it's not that the last 2 years, it has not been that economy. And so we're back to seeing people like being wishy-washy. But I think it's just a lot of the times people just have not had that financial guidance that we've talked about. And, it's like, you can't even teach it to adults. Like we went away with home ec and stuff in schools. I mean, we've done away
Mhm.
with so much in schools that would help where we're at today, or financial classes in school. None of that's being taught anymore. And it shows. It
Yeah.
shows.
The emphasis was on going to college, getting a
Yeah.
degree. And I spoke up in a faculty meeting one time and I said, not everyone needs to go to college. That went over about as well as a fart in church.
Yeah. Right now the trades are what's crazy
Well, yeah,
because I
that
want
was,
to teach college, so nobody went to go get trades.
yeah. I had a guy who sat behind me in a trigonometry class. Why he was in a trigonometry class, I don't know. Because the next year he after he graduated, he worked with his dad as a Class A contractor. He made more than my wife and I put together.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, it's there's no shame in an honest day's work. People still need houses.
yeah,
The plumbing backs up. The electricity goes out.
absolutely. You
You,
make an
you
incredible
need
living.
you need trades. Yeah.
Well, just like my guy here, Larry Belcher, who is listening. Hey, Larry, how you doing? He's actually a college recruiter for Virginia Wesleyan University, and
Oh,
he puts together programs for uh, kids that are that are academically charged, but he also puts together programs for kids that are that need to learn a trade, that want to learn a trade. And I know he's done stuff for like the shipyards. We're right here on the water, so we have a
yeah,
lot of different shipyards, and I know he's put together learning programs at his university, but it's based off of shipyard work, shipyard duties, shipyard skill sets. So
yeah.
shout out to my guy Larry. Also, Larry is also one of the founder and creator of the Spirit of Baseball Camp. It's a baseball camp that I'm a part of, a Christian baseball camp
Like
that
when you
we
were
do
doing last summer.
yep, that we've done every year. I think we are 17 years, I think, in on it now. And he's the creator of it, and I'll be bringing you guys some more information about that. But it's awesome, man. Work with kids in the Richmond area, and we just do a day camp with them, man. Teach them non-basic skills of baseball, and we have a word at lunchtime. We feed them. We give them a free hat, a free shirt, a free glove, free ball, and it's all the basic baseball skills. But it's an incredible event. We put it on at one of the high schools at in central Richmond somewhere. But if y'all are interested in any of that, let us know, man. But yeah, it's fun. It's an incredible time. But Larry puts together those type of programs that you guys are speaking of, where it's trade based, not necessarily always academically or scholarly, something scholarly based. So, but yeah, everybody has a place. You know,
Hey, send me the date of that baseball thing.
okay, Larry, if you're on the line, brother, send me those dates and I'll forward it to Amy. Or if you want to put the dates in right now, you want to type it in, go ahead and put the dates in right now, and we'll stay on here for a little bit longer. But yeah, it's awesome. It's an awesome camp. Here we go. Here he is. Boom. He says we are trying to destroy the false barrier between trade education and academic education. The baseball camp is April 26th.
Ugh,
There
I
we
won't.
go.
I'm not available.
You're
Shoot.
not available? No.
Nope.
Well, you got some folks you can send. You know, it'd be cool as well because I know that they have some college kids come out, some softball girls. It's co-ed as well, so girls and boys can come. And it's an incredible event, man. Every year, man. It's you know, you get some kids that take Christ. You get some kids that you even get some parents, you know, that get moved. But the kids come and they learn baseball. You know, they get fed, and they also just really get into also some life lessons. So it's really cool. Ah. He says, well, he always says it every year.
You
I'm
always
the
best.
best. Well, you know, it's a part of my DNA, I reckon, man. It's for my guys and all my kids, the kids that come out. You know, they like to see you dressed up some. So I throw on the gear for them.
Amy
And
said her internet went out, by the way.
oh, it's cool. It's cool. But appreciate her coming on as well. But it's an
But
incredible camp.
segueing on to everything that we're talking about,
Uh-huh.
drum roll. I don't know if it'll be next week, but soon we will have a guest on our show that went pro.
Okay.
But is not pro anymore and
All right.
is gears and is still doing something amazing. So I'll talk to you guys about it when we end the show.
Lovely.
But yeah, he's doing something completely different than football. And, you know, I think it's a great segue, you know, since we were talking now about how, you know, even some of the best athletes that we think have a long-term career in football, it may not last forever. And
Right.
he's going to talk about what he's doing now and just kind of talk about that transition. I've been kind of talking to him, you know, for the last couple minutes here while we've been on. So we're going to have him join and maybe one of his friends that's also doing something different now too. So I'll talk to you about it in a little bit. But
awesome. Breaking news. Okay. Appreciate that. Awesome news, AB. But yeah, looks like we've been off about an hour and a half. We can go ahead on and close it out. Yeah, full show. Now think about that. We went this long on a open forum show. How awesome is that? You know, we didn't even have, you know, staple segments to really bring up and talk about. We just talked about life, and we talked about a lot. That proves a ton of you know of how this platform is for everyone and is for the conversation piece that some folks need, you know, and even bringing on viewers and listeners like Aaron and James, you know, that's something we may incorporate a little bit more frequently because, you know, like I said, if this platform is for everybody, everybody can be involved. But anything you'd like to say in closing, Ed? Anything you want to say in your closing monologue?
I miss my boy Seawood. I don't know what to say. But you know, I think we all might do well to look up Wally Pip this week and think about that. You know, the new kids.
So you trying to say
the new kids look pretty good. I'm not saying anything.
Wally Pip.
I'm saying that James and Aaron acquitted themselves well. We can all be replaced.
Well, Chad at least has been joining. I mean, poor Ethan, he ain't joined us in a while. So Ethan might have been kicked. No, I'm just kidding.
Ethan may have been Wally Pips, huh?
You mean young pageant?
Young pageant. Let me come to you, AB. Anything you want to say in your closing monologue?
No, I just have loved having something different. I mean, we always shoot the shit with each other every week, and I just think it's great. You know, two guys that contribute to our podcast every single week. You know, and seeing them on here with us, that was awesome. We've never done that before, so I think it was great to have them on, and appreciate having them on tonight as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, James, and thank you, Aaron, for coming on for us. And for me, you know, I'd like to say, you know, it just fills my heart to see, you know, the podcast grow and to have it just be, you know, just continue to be more versatile and be able to be of service to our community that we support. You know, just keep on taking care of each other, keep on supporting each other. And you know, we'll just continue to see this thing grow, you know, which makes me really happy. But we got to thank all of you for hanging out and joining us for this Tuesday night. But as of now, the shop is closed. Thank you guys again, and we will see you next week. I'm gonna try to dig out of this damn snow. I'm supposed to get 10 to 12 inches.
You got the snowpocalypse coming tomorrow.
Yeah, so I'll keep you guys up to date on
French toast will save you, man. French toast will save you.
Oh my goodness, we'll see how this
milk,
thing
bread,
goes.
and eggs.
Right. Well, thank you guys, and I'll see you next week.